you are seeing on the screen here now. Yeah, okay, we are going to be cutting this gown. I already cut it down because this is a live tutorial. I will not want a situation where I'll be wasting your time, so I already cut it out. So this is the front pattern. Let me just set this aside. Okay, so this is the front pattern for this child. This is for a 7-year-old. The neckline, because the neck is a turtleneck, the neckline I used was 2¼ for the 2¼ for the neck width, and for the neck depth I still use the same 2¼ the reason being that the neckline must not be gapping. Okay, if you want it to lap like what you are seeing on the picture, the neckline must not be gapping. So for you to get the exact measurement of this child is the chest measurement. Okay, the chest circumference, that is the child's bust circumference, okay, divided by 12. Whatever you get is what you are going to be imputing both up and down, and you'll be fine. Now to calculate the bust, you have for us to put the dart. Now if you don't want to put the dart, it's fine, but I like putting a little bit of dart for children so as just to make it shapy. Now the back, the front, you are going to be imputing that. Okay, but you can leave the back plain. The reason why you can leave the back is because there will be a belt, so the shape by the back is not really necessary. But for the one that we have that will not have belt, please do well to put your dart for the back. And for you to just put the dart is nothing else than to increase this line that you are seeing, this slit, this dart line, you will increase it up until halfway of the armhole. Okay, that is that for the front. Now coming to the lining itself, there is something I did here. Okay, I want us to see. Now I wanted somebody said somebody chatted me up and said, Mama, you said I should use stay. Now there are different types of stay. I purposely did this on this fabric, on this lining, so that we'll be able to see clearly. Now there are different types of stay. This is the stay that this lady used, and it is hard stay. Okay, when doing this, endeavor to use soft stay, and when you are using it, sprinkle water on the stay as you place it on this lining. Sprinkle water on it and then iron dry. Don't use steam iron, iron dry. Okay, if not, you are going to be seeing these puffing ups that we are seeing here. Okay, can you see? Can you see? You are not supposed to see all this, but I just did this so that you will see the simple mistakes that we make when we are making our own. Okay, so now this is for the front part. Exactly what you do to the front bodies, you are going to do it to the lining. Okay, and then I'll go ahead to show you what I will be using. Two different fabrics here, and the reason being that I am making two gowns, two different styles of gown for this particular child, and I'm using the same measurement for the two gowns. Now look at what you are going to do. The gist of this is that whatever you do to the front, to the lining, you are going to do it for the back. And then you make sure that your sewing does not show. You make sure that your sewing does not show at all. Now you are going to join here first. You join. What I mean by making sure that your sewing does not show is, make sure, okay, this is a front pattern on the lining, make sure that this sewing does not show anywhere. And for it not to show, what you are going to do is this: you are going to join this dart this way. Okay, you will join this dart this way. You will also join this dart this way. Do you understand? Now you will also join this one. Then again, you will go to the back pattern. Before you start all this joining, okay, before you start all this joining, Remember that there's a design in front of this particular gown. There's a design, okay, in front of this particular gown. This is the pattern for that gown. When creating that pattern, you know I told you guys, my people, that you should watch one pattern drafting I made. I'll still be including it, dropping it on the description box, so you can go and watch that pattern. Now, from that basic bodies that I created, I measured where I want my own. I measured where I want uh, design to be. Remember that there's a black design in front of this gown, okay? There's there's a black design in front of this gown. This is what I cut out. Just cut it on, trace it on the pattern and cut it out. That's what I did. And when I did that, because on my own Ankara, I won't be using that crepe material. I could not find a matching crepe for the color that the person wanted, and we didn't, because he's a child, we can't be using this kind of shouty color. The person wanted either this color or pure white. Now, for a child that will be staining his or her clothes, I don't think using white is, but if you know you can handle it, you can use white. But because I did not see exactly what I wanted, and the black crepes I saw, if I use it for this design, I don't know how it's going to come out. I decided to use lace fabric. Okay, I decided to use lace fabric. Now, this is the lace fabric I got to use for the sleeve. Okay, it's going to be beautiful. So we are going to be using this lace fabric you are seeing here. We are going to be using it for the sleeve. Check this thing. Check it. Check this one. Okay, we are going to be using it for the sleeve. Okay, so now you will now place this pattern. Okay, just take your lace fabric. You will take your lace fabric. Okay, take your lace fabric and you will put it on fold. Put it on fold this way. Now, when you put it on fold, you are going to put it on fold this way. Okay, you put it on fold this way. Remember that this is the front of your blouse, so you will make sure that this front is going to guide you. You will make sure that this front is going to guide you. Okay, then you cut out. Okay, mark it and you cut out. So that was exactly what I did. That was exactly what I did here. This is the front of my lace. Be careful so that you don't cut the back as the front. Okay, so this is exactly what I did here. Okay, this is exactly what I did here. Now you are going to be applying your sewing allowance of 2.5 inches around. Okay, but you don't need to add it here. Now let me show you the reason why you will not. This is the neckline area, so let me show you the reason why you will not add it there. Okay, this is the reason why you will not add it there. So when you open up your top part of the bodice, the front bodice, when you open it up, okay, this is it. So you are not going to be adding it here, because why? You are going to stitch these two places together, and this is where your turtleneck will be standing. Let me turn it this way. Okay, so I said after placing it and cutting it, right, we are not going to stitch here. We are not going to add sewing allowance here. This is where we did not add sewing allowance. Reason being that the turtleneck is going to stand on this place. The collar that we are going to be placing stood on this place, so there's no need of stitching this area. Now, this particular area, okay, you can decide to use trimming. If it's going to be hard for you, just stitch it down all round. Now use a beautiful trimming to lay on it. Okay, or As you place it, you are going to put your hemming gun. My steam iron is not on because of the noise, so I just want to show us quickly. Now, the you will use hemming gun to lay here. Okay, you will use hemming gum to lay here. Then after laying the hemming gum, you will now use the hemming gum, use your steam iron to iron it down, and it will stick so that it won't be moving. Now you will either choose to use a trimming to hide the stitches you are going to use to stitch here, or you neatly bend it. Okay, you neatly bend it, but if you know that you cannot neatly bend it, it's affecting this one, maybe you should do it outside. Hmm? Okay, so it's either you neatly bend this one, okay, if you can straighten your hand, okay, it's either you neatly bend this particular one, or you use trimming to hold it. Don't bother about this area because this is where your turtleneck is going to be standing. Then we are done with this one. We come over to the back pattern. We are done with the front. Now to thicken this particular bodice, if you want, sewing material is very expensive in the market now. Okay, sewing material is very expensive, so in all you are doing for your clients, you must try to bring out the best at the lowest cost. Okay, now the essence of stay is just to give whatever you are doing structure. Now if it is a fabric that is shaky like crepe or duchess or any other thing, and you want it to have strength, you can also lay here. Okay, if not, laying on my lining alone is better for me. And remember, please do not use hard stay, use soft stay. Lay on your lining, but if you want to lay on your bodies, it's okay, it will give extra strength. But if you don't want, lay on your lining. You can as well again you can as well again just cut it normal, cut it and don't lay it. But I prefer to lay this one. I'm not going to be laying it on laying any stay on it, and I will still come back in a second video to show you the outcome. Okay, it does not really matter, but it gives beauty and strength to your sewing. Okay, now we set this aside again. For the back bodies, this is the back bodies, right? This is the back bodies of that particular style. Okay, this is the back bodice. When cutting your pattern, that 2 inches allowance, you are going to fold it inside before cutting your neckline. Okay, always remember, fold your 2 inches sewing allowance inside before cutting your neckline. If you fold it inside, this is what you are going to get. This is what you are going to get. So no matter what happens, your zip allowance will definitely hide inside that turtleneck so that everything will be neat. Now this turtleneck is going to be like this. Okay, this neckline is going to be like this. So when you place the neckline here, it will definitely. Now we are going to be using this lining. Okay, now I decided to pad for the front pattern. There's something I didn't talk about. Pattern, I decided to lay stay on the lining, but on the back pattern I decided to lay stay on the front, just to show you a feeling of how it looks like. Okay, it will make it very, by the time you are done sewing, your fabric will have weight. Now this is for the back. Now we are going to be talking about the back. Okay, now I already told you this is the back. Okay, are you on the line? Okay. So the back pattern. Okay, now for this back pattern now, I've told you are going to be folding your 2 inches sewing allowance inside, right? We don't need to apply that. Reason being that this particular one style has rope at the back. Okay, so even if you put that, the rope will definitely gather it, so you don't need to bother yourself with that. But then, if you are not going to put rope, please put that. It makes your sewing come out, will have more shape. Okay, it will make your sewing to have more shape. Now that is that for the front. For the back, now there's a mistake people always used to make, and if you make that mistake, hmm, to correct it go hard small. You have to cut another one. You see the placing of this lining, the placing of this lining, you have to make sure that as you are cutting, you mark the front and then you mark the back. Reason for marking the front and the back is so that you know which one is which. Okay, you know which one is which, because at the end of the day, if you use this one to join here and you become confused, you won't even know how to start. Okay, let's assume that you have already, that is the type you want to line to add stay to the lining. If you don't know the front and the back and you pad, you go and you will have to tear it out again. So this is some of the little things that people do wrongly, and then it's going to affect them. So this is for the back pattern. There's nothing else, there's no style in the front, except that this, except if you want to still take this one to the back. But if you don't have enough fabric, instead of wasting your fabric, this design did not go to the back, it was just in front. But if you want to take yours to the back, there is no problem. Now we come to the flay part of this design. Okay, so we come to the flay part of this design. We are going to be setting this one aside. We come to the flay part of the design. Now you will measure the waist of your client. Okay, I already cut it out because I told you this is a live video. I don't want to waste our time that much. Okay, I don't want to waste our time that much. So you will measure the waist of your client. Okay, now when you measure the waist of your client, when you measure that waist, you will now do for this particular style. If you look at it properly, you will see that the flare is not that much, though it's much, but it's not that much. So times 2 of the waist area is okay for the baby. Okay, you measure the waist times 2. Okay, and you fold your fabric. Okay, you measure your waist times 2 and you fold your fabric. So how to get, I will explain to you now how to get the correct amount of fabric for you to use to cut out your flay, so you will not be wasting fabric. Okay, so to cut out your flay, you will measure here to here. Okay, you will measure from this area, you will measure from this area to this area, and this area to this area is the skirt length. Okay, is the skirt length. That is why you will measure it and you keep it. Now know it that this is the skirt length. You keep that aside. Now you calculate the radius. The normal formula for calculating a full flare skirt is that divided by 6.25 if it's a 360-degree flare, if it is a full flare. Okay, but if you want it to be a 180-degree flare, that is a semi flare that is not really full, okay, it will be that waist circumference divided by 3.14. Now we are doing a full flare, which is 360-degree flare. Okay, we are going to be doing waist circumference, which is 25, divided by 6.28. Okay, so whatsoever we get, whatsoever, I'm trying to show you how you are going to know the exact fabric, exact material to use and cut out this. If you do not use this fabric, you will end up wasting many of your fabric. Do you understand? So waist is of this baby is 25 divided by 6.25. I want to assume that I got 7 inches. You will do 7 inches plus this whole length. Let's assume that I got 17, right? Let's assume that I got 17. That means that the quantity of fabric I'm using is 17 inches times 2. You can see it's 2 here. Do you understand? 17 inches times 2. 17 inches times 2. Now 17 inches times 2 is 34. That means your fabric that you are going to be using, this side is 34 inches, this side is 34 inches. Now from what I calculated for you now, an average Ankara can carry it. A normal by 60 fabric can carry it. But if it becomes more than 34, let's assume that I got 54. Okay, let's say assume that I got 54. So if you cut it that 34 by 34 and you fold it into 4, you can cut out this easily. Everything will enter. But let's assume that the fabric is 54. Okay, so you are going to calculate it. This, I already joined one side so that you will see very well. This shortage, do you see? Do you see? So I had a shortage. Just to make it clearer for you, just place another a pattern paper underneath this particular one like this. Okay, place this particular fabric. When placing it on 4 corner, when placing it on that 4 corner, or after you have cut it out, okay, just place another fabric and cut like so. That was what I did. You can see the joining here, because it's going to that shortage is on 2 sides. Okay, so you can see this is what I did here. Can you see? I joined it. So you are going to join it in 2 ways. I just left this one so that I can show you. So I've joined it in, I told you that I'm cutting 2 gowns for this particular baby. Okay, so I'll be doing this illustration with with 2, so that I will not waste much of your time. Okay, so now this is the shortage, and this applies to even adult flare. When you cut and you find out that one side is not complete, definitely 2 sides will not be complete. Okay, so far as Ankara you are cutting on for an adult, it can never be, it must have shortage. Now when it have that shortage, don't bother yourself, don't worry, it's not like you did something wrong. That is how it is. Just place and cut out the complete on another fabric and you join. This is how to join. Okay, now when you raise it up, okay, when you raise it up, you see it has covered. That shortage will be no more there. Do you understand? When you raise it up, you will see that it has covered. Everything needs to cover. But then if what you are making is going to be a high and low flare skirt, there are some flares you see the back will be longer than the front. Okay, now after cutting your fabric, after cutting out the flare, after cutting out the flare, the flare side of it, after cutting it out, leave the other side. Do not join the other side. Your high and low skirt has formed. It's as that simple. Okay, this is your high and low flare skirt. This side now is going to be shorter than the back one. Okay, now you will now know that this particular flare has divided itself. That means that this is the center of this flare, and this is where you are going to tear, that will be at the back. Do you understand? Okay, you can see it, you can see it. Okay, so when you join, if it's a high and low flare that the front is shorter than the back, just leave the the leave the front the way it is, only join for the back so that the back will cover for the shortage, and then leave the shortage that is in front. Is a style like that. Now in cutting out this flare for this baby, okay, I was telling you something that the flare, the way baby's waist is 25, right? The baby's waist is 25, and the baby's waist is 25, and if you look at that style, it's not really a full, is the gathering was not much. If you want your gathering to be much, it's going to be 25 times 3, okay, 25 times 3, it will be full like that. But what I did here, because it's a full flare, I cut it, I did not cut straight piece. That style you are seeing, the flare is not a straight piece that was gathered. The straight is a full, is a flare that was gathered. So because I want mine to stand this way, you see, when you cut it, it's already standing by itself. Now when you gather it, you can see, even without anything, it has already gathered by itself. Okay. Come and check whether this thing is showing, this white thing. I need water. Now by, if you cut it on full flare, see, don't worry, it's okay. Now if you cut it on full flare, you will see that already it fell on its own. You don't even need to do any plenty work. Look at the gown by itself. Okay, now if you now apply any other structure inside, everything has bound. This is one way to reduce cost. Okay, if you cut your flare, your down part of your baby's ball gown as a straight piece to start gathering it, okay, if you cut it as a straight piece, you will have to battle with the boning, you have to battle with basket, you will have to battle with hard net. But when you already cut it as flare and cut it times 2, so whether you like, add anything, whether you do not like, don't add anything, it already has that full flare that we want. Now we are done, I'm done explaining this one. I want to wish that you understood. Okay, I will set this aside now. I will set this aside now and go over using another of the fabric again. I told you people I'm cutting 2 styles for this baby. Okay, I'm cutting 2 styles for this baby. So I want to use the 2 anchor measurements I am using. Is it okay? Okay. So don't bother, is the same measurement I am still using. This is the measurement I am using. So remember that when we slit this, we are going to be slitting this one, and that is what I have done here. I have slit it open. Okay, when you slit it open, this is what you are going to get. Now after everything, you are going to pleat it back. All these things you are seeing, all these lines are must go back to 25 inches, because that is our baby's waist measurement. Okay, that is our baby's waist measurement. Okay, I have cut it open. That is our baby's waist measurement. This is our baby's waist measurement. Okay, so this is our baby's waist measurement. So at the end of the day, when we are done, we are going to pleat all these things you are seeing back to make 25 inches, nothing more, nothing less. That is 25 inches plus 2 inches allowance on the 2 sides, which is making 29 inches. Okay, remember our basic bodice here. Okay, our basic bodice here is 2, has 2 inches allowance. So the down part also is going to have 2 inches allowance on both sides. This is what I call on both sides. Remember that the back pattern, 2 inches by this side, 2 inches by this side, that is going to look like this, right? I'm sorry if I am explaining too much, but I understand that there are some people that are absolute beginners. Okay, they are absolute beginners and they want everything to start from the beginning. That's why I'm taking my time like this to explain. So this is 2 inches allowance on one side, 2 inches allowance on one side. Remember that this length that we made is 25 inches times 2. That means already like this is longer than this baby's waist. Okay, so we are going to pleat this thing back to 25 inches plus 4 inches, which is 29 inches. The 4 inches I added is the 2 inches allowance on the basic bodice, because by the time you join, okay, everything should lap. There should be no excess, there should be no shortage. That is what I have done. Okay, that is what I have done here. So now the next thing, you cannot cut your nets. There are different types of nets, right? There are different types of nets. Okay, please come and remove this thing for me. Come and remove the white wire. So there are different types of nets. No, look at it, this white something. Remove it and give me. So there are, yes, careful nets. There is, go and check it on the other side. There is soft net. This is the soft one. There is, how can I get, who can get me the, okay, there is soft net, there is hard net. There's one that is harder than this one. I'm using this one because this is just Ankara. I just want it to, but if it's real big ball gown you want to make, I will advise you use hard net. And in that hard net, if you don't want to use basket, please use 2 or 3 layers of this hard net. Yes, somebody will say, why will I use 2 or 3 yards? Because if you use 2 or 3 yards, it will give that full effect. Okay, when placing your hard net, there's this follow come mouth. That's what they call it, but follow come mouth. Since I don't want to bend the net, just follow come mouth. Just cut it in a way that, now you're not going to be cutting your net on you're not going to be cutting your net on flake. It's not advisable. But if you want to do that, kudos, too much money. But if you don't want to do that, if you can cut it on full flare, cut it on full flare, 180 flare. But if you cut it on 180 flare and you do not pleat it, you might still not get the effect. Our babies don't have hip, so they just want something that will up so that the fitting will be there. In fact, it's not even only babies now that wear ball gown. Wedding gowns are ball gowns. So many fabrics now, so many styles now come in ball gowns. All these styles are celebrities used for premiere, this movie, that. Some of them come as ball gowns. So everybody is using ball gown now. Do you understand? So if for that ball gown you are seeing, most times this hard net 2 or 3 inside. If it's not 2 or 3 inside, most times there's baskets underneath. There's baskets underneath that fabric you are seeing. There is basket, so the person na him go know how him go take balance himself. But for our babies, okay, if you want to put basket, attach it, sew it to the waist side. But for this particular one, if you need to see the basket, I think I have, but I don't know where my people kept it. But if you want to see the basket, I think in my next video I'll be showing you that basket. But for now, we'll be using this soft net. You don't need to cut the net on flare the way I said. Just have to cut it straight. You just have to cut it straight and cut it to be more than this one. So when I measured this flare that I cut open, when I measured it this way, okay, when I measured this flare that I cut open, what I got was 54. Then I made my net to be 60. You can as well make your own to be 65, so that you will pleat it at some point. Pleat it at some point. You see I pleated here. Okay, this is just for tutorial. Now after you have pleated, is either you take it to your sewing machine and use the gather stitch. Do not stitch normal stitching. If you stitch normal stitching, you can't pull it. Okay, is either you use gather stitch or you use a needle to pass tack thread. I decided to use needle to track so that you people can see. I don't know if you can see, but this is the thread. Okay, so I used the needle to tack it together. Don't pleat, except for the places you want the pleats to show. This is the side of the gown. This is the side I want to give this flare. I'm going to be putting this particular side on the side this way. Okay, I'm going to putting it on the side this way. So I pleated that side. I'm going to be pleating the other side too, so that when I finish now, this area will puff out this way. Okay, adding extra beauty. So now I want to gather my stitch. I want to gather my stitch. I want to gather my stitch. I want to gather it. I'm trying to gather it now. I'm trying to gather it. I knotted the other side, so I can't pull through that side again. I want to gather it now. Okay, I want to gather it now, and I will gather it to make 21 inches. Okay, so you can see, even without, I'm not even yet done, it has refused to sleep. You see, it has already puffed up. Look at it. Even without me finishing, my gown has refused to stay, to even sleep safe. It has started puffing up. Look at it. Okay, now if you want to achieve this thing times 2, make this net 2. Okay, make this net 2, or make it anyhow. Okay, now apart from that, there is another structure. It's called boning. This is what I call boning. They use it for bustiers, it's used for corsets, but you can still use it for this ball gown. Now I want to show you the correct way to attach this boning, because a lot of people have been asking. I've used this particular boning. I had to go and lose it out from the fabric where I used it. Okay, so look at how to use this boning. Now this is your gown. You have attached, before you pleat. Okay, I want to assume that this is straight now. This is straight now before you pleat, or before you even attach it to the fabric. Okay, but I won't be attaching this boning to this particular one. Okay, that's why I said I will just show, but I'm not going to be using it. Okay, if you want this gown to stand gidigba without basket, okay, you will buy this boning. It's not expensive. This one is not expensive, but I think I don't know the current price. As you know, these things change now. The last time I went to the market, they will tell you something is 500. You go back to the market again, they will tell you it's 1,000. So the thing don't tire me like this. But what we are now doing is trying to see how we can manage ourselves so that our customers do not run away. And when you are starting your sewing, cost your fabric, cost all these things, then you add your sewing the price for the sewing, your workmanship. Do not just stand and tell somebody ball gown 8,000. You don't know how much it is. Cost all this thing. Take your time, use your eye to quickly calculate. Use biro, tell the person I'm coming, let the person wait. You could and use biro and calculate what you are going to be using and explain to the person, and then you add your workmanship. Okay, so now this boning, you are going to stitch it to the hemline of this net. Stitch it all round and you leave it. That's all. Stitch it all round and you leave it. That is all. Okay, that's basically all. So now we are going to be pleating. Now we are going to be pleating. Now we are going to be pleating. You will keep pleating. That is why I say you tack it. If you stitch it, you can't do this thing I'm doing. So you use needle and tack it. You use needle and tack it and make sure it comes to 25 inches. You can see your gown now. Okay, you can see your gown like this. Even without you finishing, it has started to puff. Okay, it has started to puff. You can see you pleat it very well, pleat it very well, and then you measure to make sure that it's 25 inches, 29, 25.9, but 25 plus 4, which is 29. But let's assume that after you have finished, I want to talk about the common mistakes we make now, and you become confused, you don't know what to do. Okay, now after you finish cutting, okay, after you finish cutting and you now observe that, oh, it's too small. Okay, after I pleated, I don't now know what to do. It was enough, not enough for the waist. Cut another 360 degrees. This time around, make the waist 15 inches. Okay, make the waist 15 inches. Cut it out the way you cut out this one. Slit it into two. Join one here, join one here, and that is all. In sewing, every mistake you make is a style. Do not panic. If you do not come out, you will not you will not you will not, if you do not come out, if you do not try, you will not succeed. Okay, and if you do not make mistake, you will not learn. So we learn every day, but be creative about whatever you are doing. Now I have pleated. The next thing I'll do is to go over to my sewing machine. Okay, to go over to my sewing machine and start joining my upper bodies. Okay, I will start to join my upper bodies. Now if you do not want sewing at all, okay, to show on this thing that you are doing, if you don't want thread to show on this thing that you are doing, the first thing you are going to be doing is join the first thing you are going to do is join the lining. Okay, you will join the shoulder of the lining. Sorry, like so. You will take it to the sewing machine, join here and here. Okay, you will also, after you have you take the lining to the sewing machine and you join the two together. This is going to look like this. I am showing all these ones because by the time I will be showing the making of this gown, I might not be talking. Okay, so I will just be giving directions. In all, I'm trying to minimize the waste of data. Okay, that's why I'm doing this live video now, so that by the time you are seeing the next video, you will not be confused. You will not say, how was it done? So you would have joined this one to this one. If you want, you can use black lining to line this lace so that this area will be pure black, like exactly what is in the style. Okay, but if you don't want, it's still perfect and it's still okay this way. The beauty will still come out. Now you are going to use trimming. Whatever you are doing to this front, do it before you turn this lining. And whatever you are going to be doing to the back, okay, any design you want to put, do it before you join the lining. Now if you are somebody that wants to use label, okay, this is where you apply your label for the back. This is where you are going to be applying your label for the back. Now apply this label before we turn anything you want to turn. That is so that people, whatever you are stitching, should not show on the other side of your clothes. Okay, so now we are going to be joining the shoulder. Okay, we'll join the shoulder like so. Okay, you will join the shoulder like so. Oh, sorry, sorry. This is it. Okay, you will join the shoulder, you will join for the lining and for the bodice. Now after you have joined it, okay, after you have joined it, you will now placing the two together, okay, you will now join the armhole. Remember, you are not turning the neck, you are not turning the neck, because our turtleneck is going to sit on this place. You are not turning the neck, our turtleneck is going to sit on this place. Now I'm going to remove this one. Let me show you how we are going to be cutting out the neck. Check whether that tape is there. Is it there? It's not there. Okay, no, I've seen. Okay, there's actually a pattern I didn't show you. Let me just show you now quickly. Okay, let me show you quickly. So remember when I said this was what I was looking for then? Remember when I said that if you have a shortage, okay, if you cut this flare and you have a shortage, don't worry, okay, just be happy, okay, don't worry, be happy, okay. If you remember when I said so, this is the shortage I had. This was the shortage I had on this particular one. The only thing I have to do, okay, so the only thing I had to do when I had that shortage was cut it out. Now when you cut it out, place another pattern. This was the pattern I used. Do you understand? Place another pattern. Gently, don't worry yourself, just place another pattern, okay, this, and just trace it out using this particular side that is complete, okay. By the time you will see that the other side, one side is going to be complete. That side that is complete, I've scattered the flare now, so there's no way you see. Just place pattern like this and cut out. So it was that pattern, okay, it was that pattern I used to cut out this. Do you see? Let me use a contrasting fabric so that you see well. It was that pattern I used to cut out this. It was still that pattern, okay, it was still that pattern I used to cut out this. Do you understand? So still that same pattern. So you are cutting out two because definitely the shortage is on two sides. You understand? So you are cutting out two of this. Do you understand? And I also cut out two of this. You know, I'm cutting two different flares. So, but I've already attached this one. Okay, one of it. This was one side of the shortage. If you look at it very well, you see the joining. Look at the joining. Okay, so you see, this is the second one. So later I'll be putting it on the other side. That is that for the shortage and the joining. Okay, so now let's go ahead to cut out our sleeve. Or should I just go ahead to cut out the neckline? Let me go ahead to cut out the neckline. Show you how to cut the neckline first. Now for the neckline, let me use this. For the neckline, okay, we are going to be using this to cut out the neckline. You will have to get the total neckline. This is how to get the total neckline. Stand up and tell the person I'm busy. Come back later. Just go and tell the person I'm not around. Let me finish this thing.
I think you already heard your voice.
Tell him I'm not around, I'm busy.
Yeah, that's what.
Open the door, you see his coat on the other side. Open his door. Okay, beg, they do something, sorry. Okay. So now you're going to measure you are going to measure the round neck, okay? And to measure it, do not place your Michael, I'm not around, please go outside. Where is the shop key? Please tell him that they are bringing the key. He should hold on. Tell him they are bringing the key to the other shop, that he should hold on. So instead of measuring, placing it to stand. Oh yeah, if the shop is open, take him inside. He knows his own clothes. So you put it flat this way. Instead of putting it flat this way, it is wrong to measure neckline like this because our tape cannot curve. So you will place it like this, standing. Look at it. Okay, place it like this, standing, and then you keep turning it. Okay, keep turning it. Okay, you keep turning it. Do you understand? You keep turning it. You keep turning it. Watch me very well. You will keep turning it. And I got 12 inches. Okay, I got 12 inches. Now it will be easier for you to join the shoulder. Before you do this thing I'm doing now, join the shoulder. So I'm just trying to do everything sharp, but I want to believe that you are understanding. If you are not understanding, please, I cannot take comments now because it's a live video, but I'm going to be replying all my comments later. All my comments I'll be replying later. Okay, so you measure the way I have shown you. Remember, I said do not place your tape to be flat this way. Do not place your tape to be flat this way. Make it stand. Okay, after you have joined the two shoulders, please remember that you are using the back, sorry, but you know that by the time you join it, everything will be clearer. Okay, by the time you join it, everything will be clear. So you place your tape standing and measure. I placed my tape standing and I got 12 inches. Because we are going to be cutting our neckline on fold, right? Because we are going to be cutting our neckline on fold, we will divide it by 2. Okay, we are going to divide it by 2, and when we divide by 2, we are going to be getting 6. Okay, then add half inch to that 6. Okay, you will now get 6.5. Look at what you do. You place like this on bias. Place it like so on bias. Use your iron to make it flat. I will not use my iron because this is my stay. So stay is expensive now. You will place your tape like so. Okay, towards the pointed side. You will place your tape like so towards the pointed side. This is to make sure 7 inches, right? To make sure that it can enter. So 7 inches entered perfectly where you can see. But if it did not enter, remove your tape, fold it again until it enter. But for me, on this part, it entered. Okay, so what you are going to do when you place your tape like so, what you are going to do is to mark where you got that 7 inches, and that is here. Did you see where I got that 7 inches? I've marked it. Okay, so I will place my tape on the tip, because it was because we folded this place that we got this way, that we got this point. Place your tape like so at the tip. Okay, and you start to measure. Where did we get that 7 inches? Okay, it was here, 10 inches. We measure and we mark 10 inches. We measure and we mark 10 inches. We measure and we mark 10 inches. We measure again and we mark 10 inches. Okay, now how many inches do I want my collar to be? We are trying to make our collar now. Hope you are aware. So how many inches do we want our collar to be? We want our collar to be 2 inches. This is 2 inches. But because we want our collar to be 2 inches, remember there is supposed to be a sewing allowance, which is how many? Half inch sewing allowance. Don't make it 1 inch. Your collar will just puff up anyhow, they rough. Do you understand? So half inch is enough for sewing allowance. Some people even go as low as using quarter inch. Quarter inch is for experts, so that as you are sewing, you will not shake your hand and come out. If you shake your hand and come out, your collar will be losing from there. But if you make it half inch, even though you are a beginner, okay, if you make it half inch, even though you are a beginner, it will be very easy for you, okay, to stitch on it. So this is 2 inches of our collar and half inch, and we are getting 2.5. We are going to mark that 2.5 here. Okay, you keep marking that 2.5. Okay, no, for I'm even thinking that I was working on my own. Please use your curved ruler. Okay, use your curved ruler to connect. But if you cannot, if you don't have curved ruler, use your free hand. Your sewing machine will smoothen it for you. Okay, so we now start marking our 2.5. So this is my 2.5 right here. Okay, this is our 2.5 right here. This is our 2.5 right here, and this is our 2.5 right here. And then we are going to connect. Now if you measure, just to cross check, oh, let's be sure. You see, measure, let's measure to be sure before we cut out. But then as a beginner, so you see we got exactly that 6.5. Now then as a beginner, okay, please make your own to have extra. I'm going to be showing you later when I'm sewing. I will show you how to remove that excess. Make it to be extra. Like mine is now 6 inches and I use 7, right? Please make your own 8.5 or 9 inches. I'll be showing you how to remove that extra when you are sewing. Instead of it to be short, it's better to be over. If you cut your neckline and it's shortage, if it does not fit in, you have to go and waste material again and start cutting. But if it is over, if it is more, you are now looking for how to reduce, and it is better for you that way. So I'm going to be cutting out my neckline. Now there's something, as I was talking, I did not do. Now this is the area that matters, because this is where it's going to sit on that neckline that we measured. So this particular one should not be short, but this particular one is where our under our jaw. Okay, so now you will come in by half inch around here, you will come in by half inch around here, and this is where you start curving out your neckline. So your neckline is supposed to look like this. Okay, and you cut out nice and easy. Okay, so this is our baby's neckline. Can you see? Can you see? I'm trying to make it stay so you can see clearly. Okay, can you see? Let me use this background so you can see very well. So can you see? This is our baby's neckline that is going to be sitting on this particular front pattern. This front pattern that you are seeing. Are you guys seeing? Are you seeing what I'm doing? I will not repeat it again, please, so that we can just go ahead and start sewing. Oh, for go home today. Do you understand? So this is like this. I'm just taking my time to show you. Okay, so this neckline is going to be sitting perfectly on this place. On this place, it's going to be sitting this way. Let me show you. Okay, so it's going to be sitting perfectly on this place. Okay, so that is it. Now we are going to go over to the sleeve. We are going to go over to the sleeve. and I already drafted a pattern for the sleeve. So this particular sleeve is an exaggerated sleeve for this baby. What are we going to do? Make your normal sleeve pattern. Okay, I want to assume this is the baby's length. Okay, I want to assume this is the baby's length. I want to, let's quickly complete the length now, so we don't have to work on it again. Abi, what do you think? What do you think, Soro Jo? You people should sorrow. Let's go. Night has come. Okay, so the baby sleeve is 19 inches. The baby sleeve is 19 inches. Okay, let's just go ahead and do it with another fabric. Okay, I'll be using, okay, please, this is Boju, so let's use another fabric. I don't want to cut my own fabric. Let's use this fabric. It's actually a pieces. We are going to be using this fabric to cut this particular sleeve, and we are making an exaggerated sleeve for this baby now. Okay, now we are going to be, after making the sleeve, I hope you know how to make a basic sleeve. If you don't know, I'm going to be dropping the description in the link on the description box for you to go watch it. Just how to make a basic sleeve. This is just a basic sleeve, but sha is a long sleeve. Okay, now I cut it. You can decide to cut your own into 3. You can decide to cut it, but don't cut it into 2. 2 will not give you what you want. You can decide to cut it into 4. You can decide to cut it into 5. It all depends on you. Okay, and then you can decide to split it into 5 anyhow you want, but don't split it into 2. Split it into, the least you can go is 3. Okay, the least you can go is 3, and then you number it. If you number it, it will help you, so that you're not gonna be placing your fabric anyhow. If you place it, the thing don't scatter. Do you understand? You will not even understand this place again. But if you want to join it like that, you can just join it. Anything it comes out, you know. But then I prefer to number them. It doesn't cost me anything to number it. Okay, I will number it. This is what I got. Set it aside. Set it aside. Set it aside. This is a beautiful. Do you know how much I bought this fabric? Actually bought this fabric in Oshodi for 800 naira. After using it to make boo gown for my client, the woman was thinking is one important. This is not enough. Oh, okay, let's do it this way. Okay, here we are. Here we are. We are here right now. Now I will place this one like so. This is our number 1. Place it like so. This is our number 2. I will place it like so. This is our number 3. I will place it like so. If you want the down part to be free, place it like so. But the down part of this one was straight. Place it like so. What do we go ahead and do now? There's something else. I want this sleeve to have puff. I will take up my marking. Initially I did not mark it, but I'll take up my marking. Guys, this is a fabric marker, so you know the kind of fabric marker you're using on your. Now when I want it to have a puff, I will go up by 1 inch. It's just a baby. Go up by 1 inch. Now I'm coming down this way. Come down on the second pattern and take it to okay, and then you come this way. Come this way. So you cut cut. Can now remove. We are done with this one. Okay, can now remove it. Can you see now? First thing you do is to notch here first of all. That's all. Notch here. So it depends on how wide you want this sleeve to be. It depends on how wide you want this sleeve to be. We'll start pleating. We'll start pleating. You have to pleat it, pleat it, pleat it to enter that sleeve opening. Okay, you will pleat it to enter that sleeve opening that you have made, and you will have something like this for our baby. We have something like this for our baby. Okay. You will have something like this for our baby. Okay. This is an exaggerated sleeve. You have something like this for the baby. Now for the down part of the sleeve, you are going to cut out using this fabric. Okay, you will lay stay on this place. You will lay stay on this place. Now when you lay stay on it, let me do it and show to you. We are coming to the end of the tutorial. For the people that said they don't know how to do it, that's why I decided to come and explain first. Okay, so the next video you are going to be seeing, I might not talk this much. I will just go ahead with the sewing. Okay, I'll just go ahead with the sewing. So it depends on how wide you want whatever is going to be on this hem side of the sleeve. Okay, it depends. So it depends on how wide you want what to be there. You will now pleat it and add it. You can see, you now pleat it and add it. Okay, so guys, you have come to the end of the tutorial. You have come to the end of the tutorial. The next video you are going to be seeing is going to be the practical. Michael, the next video you are going to be seeing is the practical aspect of it, where I'll be doing the sewing tutorial. Lock that door. Lock it. I don't want anybody to follow you. The next video you're going to be saying is going to be the practical side. So if you've not subscribed, please subscribe, turn on your notification bell, so that immediately the next video tutorial of this is coming up, you will be the first to see it. And I guess we are doing well. I guess you people are trying your best, trying to practice. Remember that practice makes perfect. See you guys in the next video. Turn it off now. It's not working. Come.